Was the job a dead-end job 6 months ago when you was blessed about it and you was thanking God? Ooh, I got this new job. I'm so happy. I thank God I got this job. How did that job that you thanking God for 2 years ago all of a sudden turn into a dead-end job, right? How did that blessing turn into a curse? The world is yours. You can pretty much be whatever you want to be if you put your mind to it. Now, I'm not telling you to be a shuck and jive person that yes, sir, no, sir, do whatever and slide in on your knees and take your hat off, right, and start tap dancing. I'm not telling you to do that. Sometimes the only thing that's holding you back from a whole different life is the way you think. Guys, if you're 30 or 40 years old and you find yourself working this dead-end job that isn't going anywhere, this video's for you. I want to try to hopefully encourage you, and really I want to empower you so that you can take something from this video that's going to help you get out of that situation, get out of that dead-end job. Because I know that it's easy to get down, it's easy to get into a rut, it's easy to get depressed over this job that is feeding you or feeding your family. But I got 5 things on this video that I want to share with you. And stick around for number 5, because number 5 may be the most important thing that you definitely need to hear. So first, whether you're 25, 30, 35, 40, and you're at a dead-end job, the first thing you got to think about doing is first realize that you have probably the most important resource on the planet on your side. That is time. Time is huge. Now, until you run out of time on this planet, there's a possibility, there's some hope that you could do something different and change things around. So the first thing you got to realize is that time is on your side. You have something working for you. Now look, we don't really know exactly how much time you have, but if you're 30 years old, the chances of you living another 40 years on this planet is pretty high. Now, if you're 50 years old or 60 years old, the chances of you living another 40 years is not so high. But you get what I'm saying? You're 30 years old. You got what appears to be, by all measures, time on your side. With that said, it doesn't mean let's go ahead and waste our time because we know we got maybe 30, 40 more years to go. I'm not saying that. Instead, I want you just to make sure you take advantage of the time and you understand the importance of this valuable resource that you have at your disposal called time. Now, that alone ought to make you feel a little bit better. The fact that you have some time and time on your side, which is, again, the most valuable resource on the planet. Let's not waste time moving forward, right? So drop the bad habits, drop the alcohol, let go of the partying and hanging out, right? You got to leave all that stuff behind because you got to get focused on getting out of this situation, right? Everybody has something that's holding them back. Everybody has something that they spend time doing that they probably shouldn't spend as much time doing. Whatever that is for you, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, leave it. Make a point to say, you know what, I'm going to stop wasting my time today. I'm going to stop messing up today. I'm going to stop doing that because I know that's wrong. And I know that hobby takes a lot of my time away when I should be doing something else. You got to be able to drop that thing. So let's start off this new financial journey or this new career journey, understanding the value of time and putting that time to work with something that's productive, right? As opposed to not productive, whatever you've been doing that ain't been productive. Look, you may not have money in your toolbox. You at a dead-end job, you probably don't make that much money. You ain't got money in your toolbox that you have to work with and pull yourself out. But the one thing you do have is time in that toolbox, right? You can't get the time back, so you got to use it wisely. Now, the second thing to consider, if you're 30 years old, 35 years old, 25 years old, and you're at a dead-end job, is you got to get the right attitude. Look, this right here will either destroy you or it'll make you great. Just this thing right here that you have between your ears, it could be the thing that catapults your life to the next level, or it could be the thing that'll bring you down further. If you don't have this right here, nothing else I say on this video is going to matter. You got to get this thing right. The way you think, your attitude. Yeah, we know you made some mistakes. Cool. We all make mistakes. Move on. Trust me. Listen, I know that everybody kind of gets mature at their own pace, right? Look, you can talk to some 15-year-olds and they are very, very mature, right? Have a great direction in life. You could talk to some 50-year-olds that don't have a direction in their life and aren't mature. Everybody kind of gets to that point in life where they kind of understand and the light bulb goes off in their brain, but we do it at different times, right? Some people, They never get this thinking right. Look, the best thing to do is thank God that you are at a young enough age where you're hearing this message and you can change your world by how you think. You can change your whole life by your attitude and approach. Look, the future, we don't know what the future, nobody knows what the future holds, right? We don't know what's out there for any of us, right? So since we don't know what's out there for any of us, why not think positive about the future? Why not have a bright outlook about the future, about what could happen and what's gonna happen and what's down the road? We don't know it. So instead of thinking negatively about it, have a positive attitude about the future, right? We're making it up anyway because we don't know. So make up good stuff. Change this attitude. Change the way you look at things. Change the way you approach life, right? Be positive. Be optimistic about what you can do and what's possible and what you can achieve and are capable of doing. Sometimes the only thing that's holding you back from a whole different life is the way you think, right? And the way you think may be the reason that you're stuck at that dead-end job. It may be the thing holding you back from moving on to something bigger and better. Is just the way you think, right? Your bad attitude or your bad mentality, or maybe just your bad perception of life, of yourself, of the person you see in the mirror. Look, maybe sometimes it's not necessarily the job that is so horrible and bad and so much of a dead end, but maybe it's just the way you think about life and about that job that makes it appear to you to be a dead-end job, right? Because the way you think could turn the job into a dead-end type of job, right? That's real, right? Think about the job. Was the job a dead-end job 3 years ago when you got it? Was the job a dead-end job 6 months ago when you was blessed about it and you was thanking God? Ooh, I got this new job. I'm so happy. I thank God I got this job. How did that job that you thanking God for 2 years ago all of a sudden turn into a dead-end job, right? All of a sudden when something didn't go your way or things didn't turn out the way you thought they turned out, or you have a bad manager here or a couple of horrible co-workers over there, all of a sudden it's a dead-end bad job, right? But how did that blessing turn into a curse? Maybe it's not that the job is such of a dead-end job, but maybe you just have dead-end thinking about the job. You have a dead-end perception of the world. You have a dead-end perception about yourself. You have a dead-end outlook on everything going on around you. And now your dead-end thoughts have turned the job that was a blessing into a dead-end job. Just something to think about. Don't beat me up. I'm just giving you the real. Now, speaking of beating me up, you might get mad at me for this one, but I really, really gotta say it. Nobody else is gonna say it. I'm used to saying things that other people won't say, but I'll say it out loud. You have to get right on the job. Let me say that a different way. Just because you have a dead-end job or what you perceive to be a dead-end job doesn't mean that you have to perform the job in a dead-end way. You don't always have to be late every single day or twice a week, right? You can get there early, right? You don't always have to clock out and leave immediately. You can maybe stay late sometime every now and then. I'm not telling you gotta do it. I'm just telling you, you don't have to be overly lethargic at everything you do at the job, don't care about nothing, and turn around and let everybody on the job know how disgusted you are with the job, with the management, with the supervisor, with the hours, with the work, right? You don't have to be that person on the job, right? Why not say I'm gonna add value based on my attitude and my work? I'm gonna add value to this dead-end job. You could turn that dead-end job into something different. You may be able to turn that dead-end job into something special, something that's going to catapult you to another level at some point in your life. Why not be the go-to person that people come to ask questions about, and you have the answers because you know your job and you're very good at your job? Why not? Here's my point. Why not just make the most of this dead-end job? And I know you may be thinking, well, it's a dead-end job. Really? I really don't want to do that. I hate this job. I hate the people at the job. But listen, are there people at your job that make $50,000 a year? Are there people at your job that make $80,000 a year or more, right? Maybe a store manager, a regional manager, a district manager, a supervisor, right? I mean, my point is that it may be a dead-end job to you, but it could be a career to somebody else. And if you treat it right, it could be a career for you. I mean, you got to stop bad-mouthing the job as much as you do. as much as you hate it, right? You got to stop bad-mouthing the place that feeds your family or the place that puts food on your table. Now, I'm not telling you to be a shuck and jive person that yes, sir, no, sir, do whatever and slide in on your knees and take your hat off, right, and start tap dancing. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you, maybe if you change the way you talk about it and change the things you do at it and maybe take it more serious and maybe look at it as more important than you may look at it as now, so that you're not complaining about it and really start to understand that, hey, this pays my rent and puts a roof over my head. This puts food on my table for me and maybe in some instances for a spouse and a child or children, right? When you look at a job in that perspective and you're not complaining and whining about it, it can sort of have a positive impact on your perception of the job. Right? When you become an impact maker, a value, a person adding value on a regular basis every single day, a person that is embracing the job, whether you like it or not. Look, I've had jobs I don't like, but what I do with the jobs I don't like is I always talk them up. I always sort of fake myself out to believe that it's an okay job. It's not the greatest job, but it pays the bills. And, I have this mentality about the job. And guess what? That turns the job into less of a chore, right? So I start treating the job well. And guess what? My attitude changes. The way I talk to people on the job changes. The way I approach the job changes. Whether I study, whether I research, whether I learn, whether I want to become better at the job, everything changes just by how I approach the job. So you got to make the best of a bad situation. Understand that it's just a job, right? It is a job, someplace you go, but it also is important so that you can eat, so that you can have lights on at home and your water works when you go home. As much as you hate the dead-end job, don't hand them a reason just to get rid of you. Don't hand them a reason to fire you. Now, the fourth thing that I want to share with you is this. You have to get a plan to escape, right? Or a plan to move on to another place. You got to get a plan. My question to you right now, if you're stuck at a dead-end job and you're 30 or 40 years old, what is your plan? What do you plan to do? What is sort of your escape route, right? What are you planning to change so that in a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, you're not at a dead-end job? What do you want out of life? What do you want to be doing in 1 year and 5 years and 10 years? These are the questions that you have to begin to ask yourself. If you feel like you're stuck at a dead-end job and you really want to get a job that's not dead-end, where you can move up and you can do some things different, right? You got to start asking yourself the really serious questions. What do I want? Then you got to figure out, how do I devise a plan, or what is my plan to get what I want? You got to have these face-to-face conversations with you and face the music and figure this thing out. Maybe you write down a plan, some goals, and don't aim low, right? When you're thinking about what you want to do and where you want to go in life, don't aim low. Look, you don't have to be the lab tech. You can be the doctor. You don't have to be an employee somewhere. You could be an employer and hire people, right? You can be the owner. You can be the attorney. You can be the accountant. You can be the engineer. You can be the lead supervisory plumber. Whatever it could be. You don't have to just work in the cafeteria. You don't have to just work at the front administrative desk of the school. You could be the superintendent of the whole school district, right? My point is, when you're thinking about what you want in life and how to get out of this dead-end job, aim high. You think big, you get big. You're 30, you're 35, you're 40, you're 25. The world is yours. You can pretty much be whatever you want to be if you put your mind to it. But you got to have a plan. Look, I wouldn't build this house if I didn't have a plan on paper first. I wouldn't even build the camera that I'm looking at. I wouldn't build the computer that's over there. I wouldn't build this deck. I wouldn't build anything in life without putting it on paper first, drawing it out, thinking it out, right? Having a plan on paper. So what's your plan? Do you have it on paper? Do you have it written out? Just like if you was going to build this house and you had blueprints of different parts of the plan, you need to have a blueprint for your life written out. Right now, this is the fifth one, and I said stick around for number 5 because it's huge. Nothing else matters unless you listen and hear and adhere to this fifth one. This is arguably the most important thing you got to know if you're 30 years old, 25 years old, and you're stuck at a dead-end job. And that is, you got to have skills. You have to get skills. The reason you make $15 or $20 an hour is because you have $15 or $20 an hour skills. If you had $100 an hour skills, you'd be making $100 an hour. You're stuck at the dead end job because you probably have low skills, or you probably have skills that don't pay well. You have low paying skills. If you had the right skills, you wouldn't be stuck. Look, skills are not coming to knock on your door. Knock, knock, knock. Hello, my name is Skills. How you doing? Hey, my name is so-and-so. Yeah, how you doing, Skills? Skills don't knock on your door. You got to go get the skills, right? Yeah, you might have messed up and didn't go to college or didn't go to trade school when you was 18, 19, 20, when everybody was saying you should have went. That's the past. Let the past go. We got to move forward. You're only 30. Let's go, right? Welding school is 2 years. There's an entrepreneurship certificate at the local community college. That's a 1-year program. Look, the plumbing is a 2-year program with a 5-year apprenticeship, whatever it could be. You know, you go and you want to be that attorney, that's 6 years, right? That's 6 years, 7 years out of your life. You want to go and be that engineer, that electrical engineer, that computer engineer, that cybersecurity. It's going to be 4 or 5 years, right? Let's go. You're not too old. Let's get it. Whatever you was dreaming about when you was 18, 19 years old and you didn't do, you're 30 years old now. Let's go get it. Let's figure out let's figure out a plan for how you're going to pay your bills and who are you going to live with. Are you going to take on some roommates? You're going to move back home. You're going to live with a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, grandparents, whatever. What are you going to do so that you can make this dream happen? This dream of increasing your skills. You have to get more skills or you're going to find yourself 40 years old with a dead-end job. And then if you don't get no skills, you're going to be 50 years old with a dead-end job. Then you're going to be 55 years old, mad at your 20 and 30-year-old self because you didn't go and get those additional skills so you can make more money. Look, if you want to be the person who makes $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, guess what? You got to go get the skills that people have that make $200,000 and $300,000 and $400,000 a year. It ain't rocket science, but sometimes it's just that simple. You have low-paying skills, so you have a dead-end job. If you want to be broke all of your life, from age 30 to age 60 and beyond, continue having low-paying skills. That's the one thing that will guarantee that you'll always be in poverty. You'll always be struggling. You'll always be working these jobs that you don't want to work, these dead-end jobs. Your plan has to include getting new skills, getting higher paying skills, right? Hey, listen, I hope this video gave you something to think about, gave you at least something to maybe encourage you to do some things different, to make this thing happen for yourself and not just sit there at a dead-end job. And I also hope it gave you some type of empowerment to make you understand and believe that you got the world in front of you at 30 years old. You just got to go make it happen. And that's going to lead you away from the dead-end job. Guys, do me a favor. If you got value from this video, smash that like button below for me. And share this video. If you know a person that's 20, 30, 40 years old who may be unsatisfied or dissatisfied with their current job or where they're at in life, please copy the link to this video and send it to that person. Or simply click the share button and share this video with somebody who you know, who you think needs to hear it. And drop me a comment below. What's your thought process, guys? Are you in a dead-end job and you're tired of it? You're 30 or 40 years old and you're just sick of this dead-end job? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, the best person who's going to take care of that old you is the young you. Guys, take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.